We're going to be making some deer sausage here today. This is a recipe that a good friend of my dad's gave to me several years back, and it's pretty tasty stuff. We'll have a recipe at the end of this video with the exact quantities of seasoning and meat ratio, which is pretty simple. It's a 50% pork, 50% deer meat, and pretty basic seasonings. We got some cayenne pepper, black pepper, salt, minced garlic, minced onion, and I think that's about it. On the seasonings, we'll have those listed at the end of the video. The other thing we're going to be doing today is making some deer jerky, which is a recipe my brother came up with probably 25 years ago. And we've been making jerky every year since, and it's pretty tasty stuff. The deer sausage we're going to be making is green onion, deer pork sausage, and we're going to also be making some without the green onion. We're going to get to it. We got a lot of work to do. We're doing over 100 pounds of sausage today, not including the jerky, which I don't know, is going to probably fall in the 30-pound range or something like that. So stay tuned. We'll show you how we do it. Okay, we're going to chop up this Boston butt now. You want to make sure that you leave this fat on there when you're cubing up your meat to grind. Without that, your sausage will come out pretty dry. But just cube this up. This is actually a bone-in Boston butt. You can go boneless route. It'll save you some time. As long as it has this big slab of fat on the outside, which is needed for the flavor. It enhances the sausage. So just cube it up so that it runs through your grinder. The other thing you want to make sure is when you're grinding this, after grinding it, you mix it thoroughly so that when you feed it through the sausage stuffer, that you get a good even amount of fat to meat ratio, so your sausage will be, it'll be consistent. So we're going to cut this up now. I'm just going to take the bone out and cube it up in about 2-inch cubes so that the grinder can handle it. Now, if you run across some connective tissue in here, ligaments, big blood vessels, glands, there's a little part of a gland there. I'm going to make sure I cut that out of there. Otherwise, if it's just fat, it's good to go. So Ashley's dicing up the deer meat here, just in sizable chunks that'll fit through your grinder is fine. And then after that step, we're going to go on to grinding the deer meat. Pretty straightforward there. Just want to add that you want to use a coarse plate, or that's what we use in this first grinding step, is the coarse plate. And then once we get that deer meat all ground up, we'll move over and start grinding our pork. Same thing here, we're grinding it with the coarse plate. And then once we have that all done, we're going to combine the two, use a 3/16 plate, and grind the pork and the deer together. Once we have that all grinded, we're going to go ahead and mix it up really good, get a nice even blend of the meats together. And then from that step, it's time to measure out our seasonings. We'll get those all measured out, and what we like to do is dissolve that, help dissolve that. We'll put it in hot water. Sometimes we'll do this the day before so that the seasoning has time to cool in the fridge. You don't want to add hot seasoning blend to your cool meat. Then we get that poured in there, got our green onions in there, and we'll get to blending it all together. It takes a little bit of moving around, but as you'll see here, it blends in, and you end up kind of with a pasty mix. And then from that point, it's ready for the sausage stuffer, but we're going to give it a little taste test. And then once we taste it and say, okay, it's good to go, or we want to add a little more pepper, we can do that. That's entirely up to you. I like things a little spicy, but this is actually a recipe of a more mild heat. So then we move on to sealing it up, vacuum sealing it. That's going to keep it in the freezer for a lot longer. Okay, so here's the end result. We got wrapped up with our 120 pounds of deer sausage, which included some packaged 1 pound portions of hamburger. We can use that for patties on the grill, put in spaghetti. Came out really well. We're gonna cook some up here and show you one way that we like to eat it. So just put a little butter in your pan, add your sausage in there once you get it heated up. Once it starts browning, then it's pretty well cooked. Takes a few minutes. Then we like to get it on a chopping board, cut us a couple lengths, and then slice them open. And then we're going to put that right on our favorite French bread. Kind of make us a little po' boy sandwich. Make you feel like you're in New Orleans. Look at that. We add some tomatoes on there, and voila.
Yum, yum.
So here we've got our Cajun produce scale. This is really handy when you need to weigh your meat out for your deer sausage. So this is the meat grinder we use. It's just a cheap Harbor Freight one, but it worked pretty good for us. We are also going to be upgrading this next year because we did 120 pounds with it and it took us a while. So we'll want to be upgrading next year if we're going to be doing those large quantities again. So this is our Haka sausage stuffer. It's a really nice machine, all stainless steel, holds about 20 pounds, and it'll make quick work of making sausage. So here we've got our minced vacuum sealer. Really nice. It'll make your meat last a lot longer in the freezer if you get it all vacuum sealed. So that wraps it up for the sausage making today. Been a long day and we got about 120 pounds of sausage made. So let us know in the comment section if you guys tried to make the recipe and what you think about it. So stay tuned for next time. We appreciate you watching.